All right, I'm going to talk about this once, and that's it. I'm going to address this once, and then we're going to move on with our lives for two reasons. One, everyone on the internet seems to think that we don't have loud enough voices and we're not speaking up on behalf of the community. And two, because no one seems to know that outside of a very specific subset of content creators, that there are other people that exist out there. And that's one thing that I want to touch on first, is the Fire Emblem community. You guys, as a community, have disappointed me in almost every way, shape, and form. And I'm not talking just about the content creators. Oh, no. I'm talking about the people on Reddit. I'm talking about the people on Twitter. I'm talking about the people in comment sections on YouTube, people in the comment sections and community tabs on YouTube. It's ridiculous. I have a major issue when people say I don't feel comfortable in the Fire Emblem community anymore because of the actions of 1 or 2 people, or 4 or 5 people, or even 10 people. And just because these people are content creators, or just because people are followers of certain content creators. Are you crazy? There are hundreds of thousands of people that watch Fire Emblem content on YouTube, or that talk about Fire Emblem content on message boards, on Serenus Forest, GameFAQs, Reddit, 4chan, whatever your modality of choice is. You're going to blame an entire community and leave an entire community behind and call this entire community toxic because of the actions of a small subset of people. Do you realize how bad that sounds? How terrible that is? And I'm sorry if I sound angry about this, but this is a personal thing to me. I grew up in an environment, in a community that was not very blessed and still isn't blessed. And I was constantly hearing about people saying they just want to leave, they want to move on to greener pastures, they want to get out of a toxic environment that they're in. That's not how we improve. Someone has to come back and fix the problem. If you've got a plant and you don't water it, then it's going to die. Just leaving that plant alone is not going to fix the issue. Someone needs to come back and take care of it. Someone needs to inject some life and positivity into this community. We can't all be sitting here flinging shit at everyone, and sorry for my language, I generally don't like to curse in my videos. But we can't sit here flinging shit at the walls and just expect it to fix itself, nor can we just open the door and leave. That's called cowardice. If you leave this community and just be like, all right, I don't care, I'm going to let the building burn down behind me and I'm just going to leave, you are a coward. You are not doing anything to fix the problem. You are actually contributing to the problem. Because if you are a good person and you leave, you are allowing the bad to fester. You don't have to be a content creator. You don't have to have a very loud voice. You can be a member of a community. And I'm speaking here not just as a content creator. I've only been making videos for about 2 years, seriously, on YouTube. I've only been, quote unquote, somewhat relevant for the past year or so. I've been in this community for about 15 years, maybe more. It's more than half my life I've spent here. And I have not seen negativity to this level ever before. There's so much more. There's artists in the community. There are ROM hackers in the community. There are people who write fanfics, people who make comics, people who make fan dubs of comics, people who make YouTube videos who are good people. Why are we all getting misassociated with all of this? It's just ridiculous. It's not fair. It's not fair for the people who are nice and good people on the internet. And there's a lot of them. If you want to look for a good content creator, there's over 50 of us. Over 50. And you're mad about a subset of 5 people just because, or 10 people, or however many people are involved. I've honestly lost count at this point. Every day there's a new screenshot of more people getting involved. But I am going to guarantee you that there are more than triple or quadruple that many people out there who are not involved. Go find them. If you want a new voice in the Fire Emblem community, how about you go find it and support those people? If there are people who you do not support, don't watch their content. Don't comment on their content. Don't give them YouTube algorithm points. Go find someone else who's worthy of your time and go boost them instead. Share those people on your platforms. Share those people with your friends within the community. Help promote those people. And don't promote me just because I'm saying this. I don't give a shit. I've only been here for a year. I do this as a hobby. I have a real life job. I do other stuff. I'm not here sitting here addressing drama just because of this. I'm not even going to monetize this video because I don't think it's right to make money off drama and stupidity. This is a message to the community. I'm just flabbergasted. I spent more time on Twitter and Reddit and social media in the last 3 days than I have outside my house. And that's not just because of the quarantine. I usually leave pretty often. It's crazy. So I hope that message reaches you, because this is the primary thing I want to say. I'm genuinely hurt that good people are leaving our community. The community doesn't deserve this. It deserves for the bad people to leave, not the good people to leave. Stay and fix it. Help contribute towards creating a better environment. The next thing I want to talk about is Fire Emblem YouTubers. And I want to use this term very, very specifically because it's being tossed around in a dangerous fashion online that has absolutely driven me up the wall. And if you think I'm mad right now, you should have seen me 3 days ago. This is me calmed down. Fire Emblem YouTubers is a very generalized term. Whether you decide to use that in your video title, you decide to use that in the way in which you address people, this is a group of people. And so when someone comes and says, Fire Emblem YouTubers need to do this, or Fire Emblem YouTubers need to do that, and you're actually addressing 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 people, you are doing a disservice to this community. And I think you need to step back and realize what you are saying. Generalization is a very dangerous thing. And if you have a platform and you're mobilizing people with generalizations, you are part of the problem. If you have something to say to someone, how about you put that in your title? Put their name in the title. Don't run away and hide behind a big veil of Fire Emblem YouTubers are all bad. We're not. There are bad people. Fire Emblem YouTubers, Fire Emblem community members, on both sides of whatever argument you decide to choose. But do not generalize us all behind this. And this pisses me off. Because not only does it make us all feel like crap, but it also is putting pressure on a lot of people who are mentally not in the position to handle this pressure. I've been in in voice chats with people who are in tatters. Various people, be they community members or YouTubers. Feeling like they need to put out statements, feeling like they need to talk to other people, feeling like they need to come to the bottom of the problem. This is not their problem to solve. This is not their war to fight. If someone has nothing to do with this, why are you dragging them into it in the first place? Let the people who are involved address the situation that needs to be addressed. We don't need to muddy the waters. Too many cooks in the kitchen spoils the pot. It's the age-old saying. And we've seen that on Twitter with the way certain situations have been handled. Too many people put their hands in the fire and they all got burned. The next thing I want to say is propping up certain people during times of need. I tweeted out a few days ago, and I'm going to look this up so that I make sure I'm reading it correctly. And this was all before the mishandling of the situation. I said, and this is on July 8th, in times of strife in a community, many will look to others to guide their path. If you are a community leader, lead by example. Lead with class, poise, and dignity. Act rationally, and don't react irrationally. Moving forward is inevitable. How we do it will dictate the future. Congratulations. We did not heed any of the words I said, and that's probably on me because I don't have a loud enough voice. I don't have a loud enough platform. That's cool. It doesn't mean people aren't saying it. People aren't doing it, that's for sure. We've seen this is a whole circus act, be it the people who are reacting to it, being the people who are involved with it, being community members. I haven't seen anyone act rationally. And that's probably because we're not perfect as human beings. I'm sitting here ranting in front of a mic right now, and there's probably so many imperfections in what I'm saying, and hold me accountable for that. If there is something I'm saying that is wrong, come to me. I'm accessible. I only have a small following. I read all my comments. If you find me on Twitter, you can @ me. I'll see it. If you happen to know me on Discord or you are a content creator who has access to me on Discord, DM me. Call me out on what I'm doing. But we need to act rationally. And this failure to act rationally has devolved into this entire fire that we are seeing in front of us. Everyone needs to act rationally. Everyone's feet need to be held to the fire. Everyone needs to be accountable. And sometimes not reacting or not acting is the better choice. Because saying something that you are forced to say or being forced to act is not the answer. Because it's going to look half-assed. It's going to look like you're making it about yourself. It's going to look like you don't care or you're not knowledgeable of the situation. And to talk about this, I want to bring up a very specific dichotomy here that we saw in the last couple days alone. And I'm talking specifically about certain people who are not directly involved with the situation, but felt the need to provide their takes on it. And I'm not against them providing their takes. They all brought up very good points, and I actually agree with most of what they had to say. But we saw a very distinct split in the way of thinking. And that is DonDon151 and Deltre. Both came out with statements. Deltray did it in the form of a 20-minute video, and Don did it in the form of a community post. I'm not going to link any of this in the descriptions or anything. You can go find it on your own. You know these people. You know where to get this information. You can look them up. But one thing that if they will allow me to grab out of context and just pull out here on its own, is the way in which they reacted to people putting out statements. Deltray was pushing and advocating for statements to come out as quick as possible, and people in the community immediately praised him for that. You are a hero. You are doing what's right. You are the voice that we needed. Great. Fantastic. I'm glad that he was able to send a message that resonated with people. And I'm not saying his message was bad. I'm not saying what he did was bad. I'm not trying to attack him in any way. I'm only trying to point out a specific thing here. Don today, earlier, came out with his own statement on things, which was also very fair and valid. But in his statement, he said that waiting to put out a statement is the better course of action because you would rather put something out that is safe than get yourself in legal trouble. And people immediately praised Don for this. Hey, do you guys want to come to a decision? This is my problem. Do not just look to a figurehead to follow for no reason. Legitimately read their ideas and their opinions and formulate your own opinion. Because blindly supporting people who might have contradicting statements just looks bad for you. It looks like you haven't read things. It looks like you haven't done your research. And this applies across all of the twitlongers that I've seen online. People are selectively picking what they want to hear from whatever side it is, and I'm not pointing to any side as being right or wrong. It's not for me to judge this. It is for you guys as a community to come to a collective decision on this and stand on it. I'm not going to sit here and direct anyone at either side. Go and read stuff and read it carefully and do your research and then choose and then act accordingly. Having said that, I'm glad that they spoke out. I'm glad that everyone shared their opinions online. Because when you share your opinions, you tell me who you are. But if someone comes forward with an opinion that's level-headed and thought out, then I appreciate that. And so to Don and Deltray, I mean no vitriol or aggressiveness at all. I'm just mad at the situation in general, so forgive me for my tone. I consider you both friends, even though I've never spoken to either of you in my life. You are fellow content creators, and so you are my friends by default. Feel free to approach me if you want to talk about this or if you have a problem with me. I'm not throwing anything at you. Another thing I want to talk about, and it's for people who come out with statements I want to address, is this FE Truth or Truth FE account. Mr. Rybeen1, who we all know now. I've never spoken to you, Rybeen. I've seen you in the comment section in some of my videos or on Twitter. I just want to say you have successfully lost my trust without ever speaking with me. Doing something like this is dangerous. What you did. Grabbing an account and acting as an impartial source while working on the inside with a group of other people, clearly being biased. You can't do this. No one should do this. And I hope you learn from this in real life, because if you get caught out in this in real life, you are done. No one will ever work with you. I think this is the most villainous act that has happened online out of all of them. It has successfully dragged in people who had nothing to do with the situation and gotten them hate and aggression that is entirely undeserved. And it has tampered with the validity of statements, with the validity of a process, just everything. It has created an entire mess. It has taken away the attention from actual claims and actual statements that are being put out by both sides and has sucked away all the attention into a third party, which is wrong. This should never happen. The attention should be on two sides, and there should never be a third side that is taking away people's attention and causing that to contribute to damage. Absolutely disgraceful behavior. The other thing I want to talk about is where do we go from here? Because a lot of people are just leaving. They're putting their hands up. Content creators are scared to post content for reasons like they don't want to sound like they're tone deaf. They don't want to sound like they're taking away from victims. Bullshit. Put out your content. We have to move forward. How long are we going to keep talking about this? If the victims have spoken, the accusers and the accused have both spoken. People can feel free and go and lay down whatever hammer they want to lay down. Now, as a community, it is on us as content creators and producers. It is on you as community members to move on. We have so much wonderful content, so much wonderful Fire Emblem related things to talk about and discuss that we can't spend time on this negativity any longer than this. I'm done. I'm sick of it. I'm annoyed. I'm tired. I'm being consumed by this negativity. And I'm someone who's usually very resilient, and I still am very resilient. But it's getting to all of us. And we need to just move forward. We need to inject some positivity into this community. We need to inject some life into this community. And so my message to content creators out there is move on. You don't all have to make a statement. It's not your job to make a statement. It's not your job to weigh in and provide an opinion on any of this. We are not lawyers. We were not witnesses who are present in any of these situations. We are not perfect human beings to sit here and play judge. We are people who enjoy a game, who make videos, and we are flawed. And we have other things to do with our time, frankly, than spend it on this. So support who you want to support, and then do your own thing. There's a message to content creators and the community. And I'm sorry if I'm sounding like a broken record here, but I really can't drive this home much more than that. So you'll have to forgive me if after this statement, I decide to go back and make my own videos and just move on. But I think it's time. I think everything's out there in the open for people to see. Go see it. I'm not going to sit here talking about it or dissecting the individual details. It's not for me to do. The last thing I want to touch on is what does this mean to us moving forward? And how do we prevent this from happening again? It's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. There's no be-all, end-all, top of the food chain person who can pass judgment on people and who is an imperfect being. Same thing, not with content creators and not with the community members. All you can do is vote with your voice. That's all you can do. Like I said earlier, in the comment sections, on Reddit, on Twitter, how about you support people who deserve to be supported? There's a lot of small Fire Emblem content creators out there that are undiscovered, who have a lot of potential, who are diamonds in the rough. We were all there at one point. I still consider myself to be there. Prop them up. Bring up the voices that you want to hear in the community. Be they people on Twitter, be they artists, be they ROM hackers, be they just people on Reddit who make interesting things or bring up interesting arguments. Prop up the voices that you want to be heard. Let's stop propagating the negativity or the negative voices. What that's only going to do is make us look worse. And having meltdowns on Twitter, emotional meltdowns on Twitter, not a good look for you, regardless of who you are. If you are a content creator and you are having emotional meltdowns on Twitter, you know who you are. I've seen you. There's multiples of you. There are many. There's over 10 people who are just having meltdowns on Twitter. Don't do that. It's not a good look for you. It's not a good look for the people who follow you. It's not a good look for the community. Handle your business in private. Find a group of friends you can confide in. Fix your situation. The last thing I want to say, and I'm sorry if this has gone on for too long, but this is actually something that's been eating away at me since before I started making content. I see a lot of people who do not like content creators in general, and that's fine. That's your opinion. You are entitled to that. But in times like these, it's obvious that there is a divide in the Fire Emblem community between its members and its content creators. That's okay. There's usually a lot of divide in certain communities, and people disagree on certain things, or people don't like the way that we word things. Come to us. Let's walk together. March with us, not against us. Let's formulate something together. If you do not like a certain content creator, say you hated the statement that I'm making right now, absolutely disliked it, put me in my place in the comment section. I'll read it. Comment down below. Tell me what you think. If I am wrong, I would like to hope that I am a generally reasonable person. If I am wrong and I see your point, I'll say, all right, that's fine. It's your point. You're correct. I apologize. Easy as that. If I still think I'm right, we can have an exchange. We can go back and forth. You can clarify your side of the story. I can clarify my side of the story. And it doesn't have to be about drama. It could be about any video. I like to say Arvis did nothing wrong all the time. I made an entire video about it. A lot of people disagreed with me in the comments. I had very long conversations with them. Speak your voice. I know a lot of people don't like to, but this is what causes us to improve. When people talk, communication. Communication is key to any successful relationship, be it personal or social or whatever you want it to be. So work with us. Don't work against us. If you feel like we have too much influence, then come to us and help us change our influence. Help us change our perspectives. Some of us have crap takes. I have bad takes too. Come at us. Call your friends. Formulate an argument. Write something out. Comment on our videos. Find us on Twitter. Do something about what you don't like. Don't sit there just spinning the wheels of death over and over and over again. Oh, I hate this person. I don't like this person. Their content is terrible. They have bad takes. Change your takes. Some people won't have their minds changed, but you can do that. You guys have the power. A content creator is only as powerful as the people who watch him. Change the narrative. That's all I have to say.